I'm already seeing something that I don't like. Hello and welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me in this Sketchbox Holiday 2021 unboxing. As always, the full description of each item in this month's box will be listed in the box below. I believe this makes an official year since I've started my Sketchbox journey, so I'm super excited to see what this year is bringing. But before we get started, here's a little glimpse of what we received last year. I really loved last year's box, so let's get to unboxing. As always, first we have our sticker, and here is our little menu with the retail prices and the details about our supplies. There's no featured artist for the special edition boxes, so sadly no little postcard for inspiration. The first thing we have is a Kuretake Zig Gold Mica ink paste, retailing for $15.56. This is a water-based pigment ink that can be easily diluted and says it works well on both light and dark paper. This little bottle really packs a nice bright punch, so far so good with this one, but it is a little pricey though. Next, we have the Cretacolor watercolor pencils, set of 24. These retail for $18.95. We received some Cretacolor watercolor pencils before, and I absolutely love using these for sketching, and I have been using them a lot. These are super pigmented and work just fine in my opinion. I wasn't huge on watercolor pencils or crayons before because I never really saw the point in them, but they're kind of growing on me, so I'm sure that I will get good use out of these. And look at this. Hello again to Stoneground. This time we received 3 watercolor half pans, including red mica, prairie gold, and pearl, retailing for $9.94 each. We received one of their pans before in this beautiful blue color. Sadly, as beautiful as these are, I haven't used this really pretty blue that we received last time much at all, so I'm not sure if I'll be using these either, but we'll see. I got this in a Powerful Packs box and completely messed it up, so I couldn't use it. It's the Daniel Smith masking fluid, 1 ounce, retailing for $13.03. Warning, do not cut the tip too close to the base because you will regret it, and it will kind of make this a little useless. I haven't used the other one since then because it's a long story, but yeah, I'm glad to have another one now, so now I can really experiment with it. We also have this Peerless Expressive face tone set, retailing for $18. I knew when they mentioned Viva but brighter that it was going to be this brand. They're supposedly the originals of these dry watercolor sheets. They're very, very cool. I've gotten a bigger pack in a Powerful Packs box, and I haven't used them as much as I should, but hey, they're super cool. They do stain your hands a little bit though, so you have to handle them carefully. And to activate it, you just add some water to the paper and bam, vivid, transparent pigment. If you want to dilute it, just simply move the color to a palette and add some water. This is interesting. Dynasty half-inch whale tail brush, retailing for $12.45. It's a handcrafted brush, and it sounds like a lot goes into creating these, and they say this brush is perfect for painting ribbons, unique striping, and more, but honestly, I do not see myself ever using this. I mean, hopefully I'm speaking too soon, but I don't know about this one. Ooh, and a Sketchbox signature number 6 round brush with a matte black wooden handle, retailing for $12. I mean, I guess that's cool. Looks like a nice watercolored brush. And for our surface is the Honeymule cold press watercolor postcards. I really should learn how to say that brand's name. I'm pretty sure I'm saying it wrong. They retail for $15.87. And man, these are flimsy. I don't see these holding up any postal service journey. It also fakes us out with this little styrofoam platform thingy. Yeah, I don't know what this is about, but I really don't know about these postcards. So, I mean, now that we've got all of this out of the box, let's close it up and make some art, and of course talk about my thoughts and opinions on this box. Where to start? Well, first things first, I love you, Stoneground. I think you make beautiful colors. I just don't know if maybe I'm too intimidated by the beauty, or maybe I don't want to waste them, or maybe I'm just not creative enough to figure out where to add these little pops of shimmer watercolor in, but hopefully I figure it out eventually, because I think that these are so pretty and I don't want it to just be sitting there. But I mean, it's kind of messed up to put this in the same box as the gold ink, because that thing outshone every shiny thing in the box. And I feel like if you're going to give this to someone as a gift and they're fairly new to the art world and to watercolors in general, they might think that Stoneground just sucks, when in reality the Kuretake is an ink which will by nature just be more opaque than a glittery watercolor. And you could get like a really nice wash of the Stoneground, but you really have to like thicken the paint inside the pan, and that doesn't happen by just adding water to the pan from your brush. You kind of like really have to work it in. And speaking of beginner artists, I do not think this box is beginner friendly at all. Maybe this would be a nice gift for a more experienced watercolorist, and I say this because, one, the Peerless watercolors take some practice to be able to get the same consistent color working straight from the sheet. Two, it takes some practice to figure out how to dilute it to the color that you actually want if it's too vivid enough for you. And once you do figure that out, you have to figure out how to make enough of that color for the piece that you're working on. Three, it does not include a black or even a blue that you could use to make your own black. And I get that it's a portrait pack, but I just think it's unfair to have to really rely on just the additional watercolor pencils to make darker shades. And four, the colors in this pack is just not ideal for color mixing, in my opinion. Also, and this is my biggest complaint on most watercolor boxes, is that I like working fast. I hate waiting for watercolors to dry to add another layer. It's not like a super huge deal to most, but I mean, I just don't like it, and having to work with only watercolor pencils to like add more depth would be super annoying to me. Some people really enjoy that process, but I'm just not one of them. And did I mention that color mixing isn't that great with these materials? And since we didn't have a little postcard with someone that was featured on it, I had a little trouble figuring out what I wanted to make. Sometimes when I look at the postcards, I get like inspired, or I have like a straight up like, idea that I want to do, but I really had trouble figuring out what I wanted to make with these. So I just did a little holiday spread. I wanted to draw like a cartoon inspired by Mariah Carey, but then I decided to give her black hair instead. The masking fluid makes it very easy and very effective at keeping small areas and thin lines white when painting on watercolor paper. Then it dries to like a rubbery texture and prevents the paint from reaching the paper, and is later then peeled off when you're done to expose the white paper underneath. So this could be my sketchbook, but like it ripped off pieces of my paper. The sketchbook I'm using is not really mixed media friendly, but I use it that way anyways, because why not? I got it on my trip to MoMA and I have been using it ever since. I have like 15 pages left, so fingers crossed I'll be able to do a sketchbook tour number 2 at the end of the year. But anyhow, the Daniel Smith does its thing. I think my paper is just weak. And I've had this box for quite some time now. It was really hard for me to film this and to want to work with these materials. I don't know, and don't get me started on these postcards. I'm shocked at how much I hated them. Now, Honeymule, however you pronounce it, their paper is normally pretty decent, but these supposed postcards are so embarrassingly thin, so I'm not even surprised that there was major warping. I probably could have taped them down to give it like an actual fair shot, but I wanted to test it out. Next time I'll make sure to tape down the edges and do this properly. I did a tiny portrait on this one, and I really don't think these would stand the trials and tribulations that the Postal Service would probably put it through. I mean, if you want to put it to the test, comment down below your favorite fictional character, and maybe I'll send you a Christmas-inspired postcard with that said character. Let's see if it gets to you safe and sound. I think that'll be really fun, actually. So seriously, if anyone wants to try out this experiment with me, comment down below and DM me your address or email me your address, and let's put these postcards to the test, because I think it's going to be an absolute disaster, but it'd be cool if it proved me wrong. But as I was saying, I took my time to film this. I think I filmed it over like 4 days because like I normally do it all in just one sitting and then I edit over the next couple of days, but I had to wait for all the watercolor to dry so that I could add more color. And I just started getting annoyed because eventually you can't add any more because then you start damaging the paper and all this stuff. So overall, I'm really not that impressed with this box, which sucks because I had such high hopes for this one. But you can't get winning boxes every time, I guess. It's just that it doesn't feel like it was worth my money at all, you know, since I will be probably barely touching these things. I am hoping that my mind changes over time with these, but I seriously doubt it. Please let me know your thoughts on this box and if you got it or if you're happy that you skipped out on it. Thanks again for joining me, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!